Boris Johnson became the leader, promptly called a snap election and campaigned on the mantra, "Get Brexit done." And get it done he did. And that is why we now can hear the cheering of the elites at his departure. The Boris bashing relates significantly to the fact that he achieved Brexit, the most serious moment in modern British politics, leaving the European Union. The enormity of that success embarrassed those who are his critics now, who today argue if Boris goes, Brexit goes. At the time of the referendum about Britain leaving the EU, 75% of all MPs at Westminster supported Remain. 95% of Labor MPs backed Remain. Only 5% of Labor MPs backed Leave. But when the referendum took place, 52% of the public voted to leave, highlighting the massive chasm separating the Liberal elites in the British Parliament from the public. In other words, from the moment Cameron called the referendum, voters knew they were in a fight, not only with Brussels, but with Westminster as well. And that created a nightmare for Theresa May, as the Parliament openly sought, after the public vote, to frustrate Brexit. Indeed, opposition leader Starmer demanded a second referendum, which would have involved rendering void the votes of millions of people and forcing them to vote again. Well, punters saw Boris Johnson as one of the few people who took the public seriously, and he listened to them. And when it came to that serious moment in modern British politics, leaving the European Union, he treated ordinary people with more respect than any other member of the political class. 52% of the public voted yes to leave, but the bulk of the Parliament, the elites, were completely out of step with the voter. And Boris said, quote, "I will get Brexit done." And 14 million people gave him their votes. I was there at the time. The media and the politicians were part of an overwhelming and noisy class of Remainers. Boris Johnson read the mood of the working class, and the Brexit triumph alone will fortify Boris Johnson's place in political history. The election he called after winning the leadership gave him a landslide victory for one reason. From north to south, from east to west, in Britain, the voters felt that someone was taking them seriously. Voters across England felt an extraordinary sense of relief that there was a politician who was going to uphold their votes. As Brendan O'Neill wrote, who was going to uphold the thing their great-grandfathers and great-grandmothers fought for, the right of citizens to determine the political future of the nation. Brendan O'Neill was right. The British people wanted to control their destiny, not Brussels. Boris was giving them that chance. And that is what Boris Johnson will always mean to this generation of British voters. He gave a voice to the wishes of the people when almost nobody else in the British Parliament would. But it's the Remainers now who want to bash him up and feel that this is their ultimate moment of triumph. That is why there are many British people who only get a voice at election time who've not joined the Boris bashing. They are worried about what will come next. They fear it may be the mob at Westminster who didn't want to listen to them in the first place. So they'll be saying, now that Boris is gone, can Brexit be next?